Hello, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin. I'm the author of Heal Yourself, A Return to Wholeness, the Integration of Body, Mind, Soul, and Spirit. I'm also the author of Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love. All of my books are available in paperback, Kindle, and Audible books. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications, and thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do readings, 30, 60, and 90-minute readings, Twin Flame Romance, Life Path and Purpose. You can book that at my website, michellefondinauthor.com. Welcome to Removing Obstacle Thursdays, where we present a topic that is related to the twin flame journey that is a little bit difficult. And it's difficult to overcome this. It's a challenge to overcome. Today's topic is your DM is still in ego. What do you do? Here are 5 tips for you if you are a divine feminine watching this. Now pay attention, because I want you to integrate these lessons. The first one is, it is not your fault, divine feminine. I want you, if you have not yet checked out the video that I posted on Tuesday in Twin Flame Questions Answered, I'm gonna put the link right here so that you can view that video. Let me just say this to you. If you, divine feminine, are consistently doing your work and you are being very mindful of transcending ego consciousness, you're being mindful to operate from your higher spiritual self. And of course, it's a learning curve, right? It's not going to happen overnight. This takes years to process. It's not as if you are going to all of a sudden snap your fingers and never get angry again, never get annoyed again, never get frustrated, impatient, snap, say something that you didn't mean. That does not mean that. What it does mean, however, is that you are very conscientious about the transformation of certain behaviors. And so if you are aware, awake, doing your own spiritual work, doing your own work to help to transcend your own ego. And if you're not quite aware of how to do this, you can join the Twin Flame Divine Feminine Bootcamp number 2, in which I give you a template, an outline in many videos. I think there are 43 or 45 videos in Bootcamp 2, in order for you to transcend the ego. I'm actually, just for you, just for this video, just for the viewers of this video, I'm going to post a promo code right here so that you can join the bootcamp number 2 at a discount. So if you're not sure on how to transcend ego-based consciousness, that you can do it for yourself, okay? Because you can't do it for your divine masculine, but you can do it for yourself. Number 2, don't accept bad behavior from your DM, of course, right? Or from anyone. But I'm more particularly going to talk about DM here. A lot of DMs who have not yet transcended ego consciousness remain in these terrible type behaviors. Okay, what am I talking about? We're talking about divine masculines that may criticize, that may ghost, that may ignore you or lie to you. So or even the runner-chaser dynamic where a DM is continually running from you. What I want to say is that bad behavior is bad behavior, and it's still bad behavior. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. It doesn't matter from whom the bad behavior emanates. It's your job as a divine feminine, and it's your job as someone who believes and feels that they are worthy of love and respect to stop bad behavior in its tracks. Now, how do you stop bad behavior? You don't provoke it. You do not provoke bad behavior. And what does provoke mean? Provoke means that you kind of poke the bear, right? So if your divine masculine is responding to you or saying something to you over text or email or whatever form of communication you happen to communicate in, then, or denying like their own behavior, you don't keep poking to get a reaction out of them, right? So don't poke the bear. That's number one. Number two is don't respond to bad behavior. You can respond with, I would prefer to be respected. Here is my boundary. If you talk to me like this, or if you bring up the past where we've already worked out the past, for example, I am not going to address it. And if I'm silent, that is the reason why, is because I've set this boundary. Responding to bad behavior would be like having a back and forth that validates that bad behavior. And you really, truly do not want to validate the bad behavior. You want to pull away from the bad behavior. It's just like a 2-year-old who is in a grocery store with their mom and they want the sugary cereal on the shelf and the mom says no, and the 2-year-old throws a temper tantrum in the middle of the aisle. And just to hush the child, the mother buys the child that sugary cereal. Well, what does that tell that child? It reinforces the fact that, oh, temper tantrums do work. And so the next time their mother says no, they're going to do the same behavior because they know it works on some level. So don't reinforce and don't respond to any type of bad or ego-based behavior. Number 3, don't allow the connection to be one-sided. And I know this is going to sound weird to you because I feel that when you're a divine feminine, believe me, I'm so guilty of this. I'm bringing this up because I am so guilty of this. I'm so incredibly guilty of this. When you're a divine feminine and you have your spiritual awakening and you realize that this is a sacred connection and you realize that this is a special connection and that your divine masculine is your person, it can be very easy to spread out the unconditional love toward your DM. Be extra compassionate, loving, giving, doting, and always doing things to help the connection along. Now, it's all well and good that you are in this unconditionally loving space, but if your DM is in ego consciousness, your DM is not in the unconditionally loving space. What it looks like is that it begins to look extremely one-sided, where you as a divine feminine who is really awakened to the connection and just living from this space of unconditional love, you're like, oh, I'm just going to send this cute little meme or this text or this cartoon or this picture. I'm going to give them this gift or that gift. Like it's a continual barrage of showing your love and affection toward this divine masculine who's not even there yet. They're not even ready. They're so caught up in ego consciousness that they're not even in that space. Now, I did this. I will tell you, I have done this so many times where I was the one giving my DM gifts. He has never given me a gift to this day. I was always the one giving the compliments. He barely gave me any compliments. I was always the one like giving these loving gestures and just opening the door and saying, I'm here for you if you need me. Call me if you need me. Text me if you need me. I'm always here to talk. Like just these grand overtures of like giving. I'm here for you. And nothing in return. It's incredibly uneven. And it just, again, it more reinforces their behavior to stay in ego consciousness. Because the message you're sending is like, it's okay if you're in your ego. I love you anyway, and I'm going to be here for you anyway. And so it really doesn't incentivize them to make the connection less uneven, to make it more 50-50. And it's never 50-50 all the time, but they need to meet you halfway, divine feminines. Number 4, don't accept breadcrumbs. Again, this goes along the lines of number 3, the one-sidedness of it. This is another mistake that I made. When my DM came back to me and started reaching out and texting me and trying to connect with me again after an 11-month separation, I was so beside myself and extremely excited that every gesture that he made via text message or a phone call or whatever, I took that as, this is it. This is reunion. This is how it's going to be. This is amazing. And what I began to realize was that my divine masculine was breadcrumbing me. Now, I don't understand why he was breadcrumbing me, but I think the major reason is that he was still caught up in his own ego, living in a lot of fear. And I was taking his breadcrumbs as grand romantic gestures, and they weren't. So what I want to say to you is that if your DM is breadcrumbing you, which means that they're texting you once a week, or they're just saying, hey, what's up? Or they're just texting you to meet up for a booty call, that is breadcrumbing. When you don't see a progression of the relationship, a progression of the relationship means it's yes, there might be a lot of texting in the beginning, but then it escalates to a phone call or two. Then it escalates to okay, let's meet up once a week or twice a week. So there is definitely a progression of the relationship. But if it's kind of staying the same month after month, that just means your DM is breadcrumbing you. And then therefore they are still in that ego-based consciousness where they're afraid, but they don't want to necessarily lose you or lose the connection. So they're just putting in enough effort to maintain it, but it's not going to grow. So I would say don't accept the breadcrumbs, and don't think that breadcrumbs are grand romantic gestures. And that's super important. Number 5, stay out of your ego, but don't accept blocking or ghosting. So I'm going to put the videos right here. There's one on blocking, and then there's one on ghosting. What I want to say is, you want to stay out of your ego as much as possible. And that's why you don't respond to their ego stuff. But it can be easy to go into game playing when you start to see that your divine masculine is still in ego consciousness. And the reason I'm mentioning the ghosting and the blocking is because it's something I hear every week from twin flames that I coach. This is stuff that I hear every single week from so many people. So this still goes on. And what I want to say to you is that it does take 2 to tango. It totally takes 2 to tango. You can address the ghosting, but not by texting them nonstop or trying to get them to reach out back to you. But the next time they come in, for example, you can operate from your higher spiritual self and just say, so-and-so, twin flame divine masculine, so-and-so, it's not appropriate in my world to ghost someone. If you need to take space, it's healthier for this relationship to say, hey, I need some time. I need to take space. Would you please respect my time and space? Then at least I know what's going on. And the same goes for blocking, is when they unblock you or when they come back to you, you can then address the problem along those same lines. But when you get back into your ego and start playing those ego games of passive aggressive remarks or blocking or ghosting yourself, it just perpetuates and it almost rewards that ego activity that you do not want to reward. Know that you are superb. You are worthy. You are a divine being of God, and you do not need to take in your divine masculine if they are still operating in most part from ego-based consciousness. No matter how loving this connection is, no matter how strong this connection is, no matter how unconditionally loving this connection is, it is not your job to take them under your wings if they're still operating from ego consciousness, because they need to heal that first, because it's just not going to be a very equitable relationship. It's still going to be a more codependent enabler type relationship. So I really want you to be fully aware of that, but be aware of those red flags too in the 5 things that I mentioned to you, so that you're not dragged back down into ego consciousness when you've been working so hard to get into your higher spiritual level. So I hope this helps. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for your support of this channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can join a boot camp. You can pledge your support on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin. And I will see you in the next video.